Welcome back for another episode. I know it's been 2 weeks since I last posted, but I'm coming with good news. It's been a good 2 weeks for Reaper down here at Supercoach, and I have gained some ground on the leaders. I'll go through my teams, the players that I need to trade out, and the players that I have brought in over the last 2 weeks, which has really boosted my overall ranking. Let's have a look how he fared in round 7. You can see here I scored 2,149, which was in the top 1%. Rank change of 848 spots, which put me into the top 1,000, now officially ranked at 948. 2 weeks ago, I was around 2,970, so I gained 1,000 spots this week, and I also gained 1,000 spots last week. Let's see who has helped my team and who is on the chopping board. So Tom Stewart's been really good the last couple of weeks. He had a big score last week and he finished with 114 on the weekend. He's been fantastic. Jordan Ridley returned after missing 1 week due to concussion and just finished with 87. So his price will drop a bit. If you remember, I traded Lachie Neale to Ridley and then he missed a week and that's when Neale scored 157. But now Neale's out for 6 or so weeks, so that ended up being a good trade in the end. But at the time, I paid $580,000 for Ridley, and he's currently at $540, and he's going to drop to around $500 after this week, I believe. The Doctor was pretty consistent again with 87 points. Rory Laird struggled and finished on 75, even though he did find a bit of the pill. He didn't really have much of an impact, and he wasn't at his best, but neither were Adelaide at all. Jack Burrows has been good the last 2 weeks. He scored 92 in round 6 and 110 this week, so he's been pretty good since I brought him in. I had my concerns, but he has been taking the kick-ins and he's still using it well by foot. Chapman will be the first gone this week, I believe. He finished with 28 points, and over the last 3 weeks, I think he's been averaging close to 40 to 45 points, so he's made enough cash for me to warrant bringing in another rookie, which I will talk about at the end. Cozzy was good with 66 points, but he was on my bench, so I didn't get his score. However, last week I did loophole him with Highmore, I believe, and I did get his 100, so that was a reason why I did jump in the rankings last week. McRae was my vice captain this week, 107 Supercoach points. He had a big last quarter. I think he scored 47 points. He was at 60 at 3/4 time, so he wasn't that good, but he did manage to scrape over 100, which is why he's such a great footballer. I brought in Sam Walsh this week for Errol Goulden. So Goulden scored 51, I believe, and Walsh scored another 130. If you remember back 3 months ago, I made a video of the top 4 breakout players that I believe will have good seasons this year. Sam Walsh headlined that with Zach Butters, and it looks to me that this is the year that Walsh is going to break out. He's currently averaging 120.6. I knew he would eventually average that over his career, but I didn't think it was going to be this year. I just thought he was going to get to around 110, but he has been awesome. Been the best midfielder at Carlton this season, doing great things, averaging 30 disposals. Clayton Oliver was also pretty good again. Didn't have a real impact against the Roos, but he still managed to score 116 points. Zach Merritt's been pretty consistent, scoring low hundreds. Nothing major yet, but 107 Supercoach points would do me well. Cam Guthrie is another one that I brought in. Can't remember who it was for. Maybe Braden Campbell. I can't remember. But he scored another 132 points and he's averaging 121. Good POD option in 6% of teams. So he's really good. Tom Mitchell scraped to 105 again after having about 456 touches on the weekend. He looks like he's going to average low hundreds, so he's going to finish as my last midfielder, I believe. But I started him at 636,000 at the start of the season. Don't regret it just yet, but I was hoping he would score bigger than low 100s every week, if he even gets to 100. Tom Power doing power things, another 97 Supercoach points. Over the last 4 weeks, I think he's averaging 92 Supercoach points. He's been fantastic. Elite hands, one of my favourite young footballers I've seen come through North Melbourne in recent years. Real good talent. And we've got James Jordan, who has been really good over the last couple of weeks after he scored that 28 points in round 5. He's popped out another high score with 91 and now averaging 70 points. He's also nearly 300,000, so he's making some really good cash. Berry on the bench, 43 points. McNeil got dropped and didn't play, and Finlay McRae with another low score of 23. There is a bit of concern here for my midfield depth. If one of these premiums or Powell or Jordan miss, I don't have much to come in. So I have to keep a close eye on that. Hopefully Tom Highmore in the back line comes in this week as well. He had 30 touches in the reserves and was one of the best Saints players. So hopefully he will come back in, but we'll see. I made the big decision to captain Grundy at the last minute over Max Gawn, just because Grundy was up against Graham and Burgess from the Gold Coast Suns, and I thought he'd dominate, and in the end he did dominate. I was a little concerned. I was watching him too closely, and when you watch players too closely you get frustrated, so I turned it off. But it was the right decision in the end. He scored 144 Supercoach points, and Gawn was beaten by Todd Goldstein, the veteran, and only scraped through with 63 points, which is probably his lowest score in 3 years, I reckon. So that's couldn't believe it. But that really helped me gain some more ground as well. It's a difference of 80 points. Flynn didn't play again, and I don't think he'll be back in the next couple of weeks. We really need him to play 2 or 3 more games to really get a big price rise from him. But I might have to hold on to him until the buys, and hopefully he plays, but we'll see. Zeeble scored 102 Supercoach points, not as high as recent weeks, but he was pretty good in the back line there again. He took a few good intercept marks and short little 15-metre kicks in the back pocket, which got him over 100 points. Jars Impey, he was pretty good. He had 20-odd touches, but only scored 74 points. No concern whatsoever there. He's doing well, still averaging mid-90s, which makes him a top 6 forward this year. Chad Warner was pretty good, 61 points, kicked a goal. He should retain his spot, I think. So we'll keep him in the forward line a little longer. Had James Rowe on field again. Oh, God. 36 Supercoach points. He's got to go this week. I just got to figure out who for. He's pretty poor. You'll have a 70 here, there, and then you'll have like a 20, and that's been pretty evident over the first 8 rounds this year. Miles Bergen scored 76 points. He was really good. He had 18 disposals and kicked a goal in the last quarter when they moved him forward. He looks to be a pretty good rookie to have on field. He does get a lot of the ball, and he can take a few marks. So as long as he keeps his spot, which is pretty likely, I believe, he should make some more cash for our team here. Alec Waterman didn't play, so I got Scott's score of 63, and I didn't have Bo McCurry as an emergency, which he scored 57 points. He had about 8 tackles, I reckon, so all these players in the forward line should keep their spots, and let's just hope that Waterman comes back this week, but time will tell. As for trades this week, it'll be Chapman first gone for another rookie. So if we go to the lowest price, he scored 74 Supercoach points on the weekend. Goes by the name of Frederick. So he'll come in. He'll be my first trade this week. We'll complete that. And now the big question is on who I bring in. Is it a midfielder? Is it a forward? I don't know, but it looks to be Rowe will be traded for someone like Dane Zorko or Shy Bolton. Shy Bolton's only in 6.2% of teams. Zorko's in 20%. But if we look at Bolton's scores, he's been pretty phenomenal over this season. If you take out his 29 in round 3, he's had 85, 88, 110, 110, 99 and 121 on the weekend. So I think that is the route I'll go, and I'll just get Zorko in a few weeks because I don't think his price will fluctuate that much. So that'll be what I'll be doing this week, and I've still got 41,000 left over, and maybe we'll do a couple of downgrades next week. Because the forwards are so crap this year, it's probably best to get, players like Zorko and Bolton in as quickly as possible, just to get James Rowe and players like that off the field, Braden Campbell off the field, because they're not going to score well, so might as well get a couple of those premiums in pretty early. Another one that we're watching out for here is Isaac Heaney, who will be around 300,000 in 2 weeks or so, or maybe next week. He's currently at 354,000. He started the season really well. He scored 115, 102 and 82. And then he had 44 in about 40% of game time before he injured himself. Missed round 5, came back round 6 and 7, scored 54 and 19. Still playing injured, I think, so I won't jump on him too early, but if he has a couple of good weeks, picking him up at 300,000, you could straight swap him for Warner or maybe Bergen straight to Heaney, which is what I'm looking to do, and probably the best scenario. He's averaged 90 over the last 3 years, so we should expect him to average somewhere around then again, as long as he's fit and not injured. But we'll keep a close eye on him. And that's probably it for now. We've had a good couple of weeks, and hopefully we can continue the strong form into round 8, and we'll have another big one. I think I might vice-captain Guthrie, and I'll keep the captain on Gawn or Grundy, but we'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let's see how your team's going in the comments and what trades you'll be making in the next coming weeks. Alright, speak to you soon. Cheers.